Hi Gemini, welcome to your reading. This is a timeless intuitive reading for Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, or if you were just intuitively guided here, then there's probably a message for you as well. All right, take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's dive right in. I'm doing something a little bit different today. I'm actually going to use Alice the Wonderland Oracle to get your theme. Usually I use this deck for closing messages at the very end, but for whatever reason, I'm just feeling very compelled to use this to start the reading. So maybe that's a message for you too. Maybe it's time for you to do something completely different or to reverse the order that you normally do things. All right. Highest and best messages for Gemini. Please, Spirit, what is the theme of Gemini's reading today? I'm seeing 333 in my mind. Gemini. Interesting. I was just going to say, I think 333 is about something about a teacher, and you've got number 12, which reduces to the number 3. Lead the way, be a leader, show others how it's done. You can help others. Maybe you're experiencing a lot of people turning to you, or just some people turning to you. They see you as a figure of support, someone they can lean on, someone who gives good advice, someone who they can talk to, who they know will really listen. People see you this way. People see you as a leader. I think the question is, do you see yourself that way? What if you knew for a fact that you are a leader? You are. Do you feel a sense of relief hearing those words? Do you feel empowered? Do you feel triggered? Do you feel anxious or scared? How does that register in your system when I tell you, Gemini, you are a leader? Maybe some part of you is saying, yeah, I know that, but it's hard for me to admit it, or it's hard for me to act on it, right? Well, Spirit is coming through today very strongly to tell you in some capacity you're a leader. In some capacity. Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Ooh, number 8. Do not drink poison. Do not do things you know are bad for you. Well, there's definitely something that is preventing you from, I think, owning within yourself to the highest degree your leadership abilities. Maybe you're avoiding them, consciously or unconsciously avoiding them, using something to distract yourself out of it. Well, Spirit is saying for most of you, you do know deep down that you have this quality, but it's almost like you're circling it and you kind of see it out of the corner of your eye, but you don't actually want to touch it or engage with it, either because you're scared of what comes with it, or you don't understand the responsibilities that come with it. You're unsure. There's definitely maybe some insecurity. There could be a lot there. Ooh, okay. So a leader, you could be a leader in just one regard. This doesn't mean that you have to become, the governor or the president or, this mass. It's just like maybe you're a leader in your company. Maybe you're a leader in the sense that you run a classroom. Maybe you're a leader in the sense that you're you're the first person in your family to go to college. I don't know, but it doesn't have to be this huge, huge thing, the figurehead we usually associate with leadership. You can embody leadership qualities no matter what you're doing or who you are. All right, let's go into tarot. I'm using the Morgan Greer Tarot for you. Where do we go from here? All right. Show me Gemini. Let's just start broad. Show me the collective of Gemini right now. And maybe you are meant to be a teacher. Page of Wands. Nice. You feel that spark. You are feeling some kind of spark, I think, in your gut. There's inspiration here. A growing sense of inspiration and movement. It's almost like, I'm hearing inertia. That growing spark in your solar plexus is going to get stronger and stronger and bigger, and it will eventually put you into a corner. It's like it's going to back you into a corner. The universe is going to back you into a corner and put you in a choice point where you basically must reconcile with what you are called to do. Nine of Swords. Yeah. There's all of that fear and insecurity or worry. That would prevent you from owning your leadership abilities. Right? It goes back to this do not drink poison. It's almost like Spirit is saying these fear-based thoughts are a kind of poison. Is that true? Yeah, okay, I'm hearing it is. I don't know that I would ever describe it like that myself, but that's what Spirit wants me to say. It's almost like engaging with these fear-based thoughts, believing them, giving them power over you. It's like drinking poison. Four of Wands at the bottom of the deck. I love the way that these three have come out. It's almost like your inner Page of Wands is trying to get to the Four of Wands, but he has to go through the Nine of Swords first in order for you to really come home to maybe your true calling. You have to be able to navigate, move through, and alchemize whatever this Nine of Swords is for you. Clarify the Nine of Swords. I'm getting something about tulips, the energy of the flower tulips. I don't know what that means right off the top of my head, but maybe working with the energy of tulips. Knight of Cups, clarifying the Nine of Swords. Okay, yeah, well, okay. Let me get connected here. You know that doing what you are called to do, which is stepping into leadership in some way, you know that what you're called to do it feels like it will put you in a supremely vulnerable position. It feels like it's going to be, you will be putting yourself on the chopping block. You're afraid that when you really share your heart, It will be used or abused in some way. Ace of Cups. And the Sun. Ooh, such incredibly gorgeous cards to clarify such a horrible negative card. How fascinating is that? That these gorgeous cards are clarifying this. It's almost like fear of intimacy. It's funny because usually, being a leader implies working with the masses or a group of people in some way, although it could look like working one-on-one with many people. But I'm just picking up like fear of intimacy. That's a big one, which makes sense because in my experience, I don't think you can authentically step into a position of leadership in a healthy way. We're assuming this is in a healthy way. You can't do that unless you're really called to it, and a calling comes from your heart. So for you to step into what you're called to do, it is like sharing your heart. It is. And so whether it's with one person or 500,000, sharing your heart is a form of intimacy. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. What's the challenge that Gemini's facing? Any other clarification? We kind of already know, but any other clarification on the challenge that Gemini's facing? Two of Cups, very similar to the Sun card. Intimacy. Four of Swords. Ace of Pentacles. Ooh. The challenge for Gemini. Healing this fear of intimacy is the thing. It is the thing that's going to unlock your greatest potential. Your potential for abundance and material, physical success in the 3D world. I'm hearing you have something to share. You have something to share. It's part of your soul. It's part of the fabric of the essence of your being. You came here to share it. Maybe you know exactly what that is. Maybe you don't. Maybe it's just something that you can feel, right? But you do know it's there. You do know it's there. You're getting more and more in touch with it every day. So what fears, what thoughts, very specifically for you, what thoughts arise when you imagine showing all the way up, standing on the world stage in some capacity, fully opening your heart and offering who you are, because what you have to offer is an extension of who you are. What's the worst case scenario that you're imagining, right? Kind of use that as the initial breadcrumb in a trail of breadcrumbs that will lead you into your own particular pain or wound, fear that you're ready to alchemize. What's the advice? Advice for Gemini. Well, what's coming through just me is learning how to walk with fear. Learning how to walk with fear, because the fear is not going anywhere, right? The fear is not going anywhere. Again, you're not wrong. It is an incredibly vulnerable thing to do, to be a leader and to share what's in your heart. So What would you do differently if you knew you would never not be afraid? You will never not be afraid. Ever. What would you do differently? There's also a certain deep, unshakable inner strength that comes with being so very in integrity within yourself and what you're doing. If you really believe through and through in what you're offering or what you stand for, being connected to that inner integrity, that for me, I've found that is what carries me through the fear. That is what has allowed me to walk with my fear. Because if anybody comes at me with a judgment or I don't know what, something harsh to throw at me, there's a really good chance that I've already thought about that myself. I've already gone there in my head. So you can't really hurt me in that sense, right? What's the advice? Page of Pentacles. Another page. Okay, that's nice. Knight of Wands. Ooh. Seven of Cups. This is beautiful. Okay. I feel like it's time for you to take this Page of Wands energy, this inner growing spark of fire and passion, purpose, direction, calling that you're feeling. Take that spark and run with it. Start thinking very practically, Page of Pentacles, about how you can take action on that spark you feel today, even if it's just one little itty bitty tiny thing. Maybe it's just writing down a sentence about how that inner spark feels in you, or what you think it might be, or maybe the action would be much bigger. But Spirit definitely does not want you to hesitate on taking action. I think starting to take action, practical action on your growing calling, that will help you to practice walking with your fear, right? As soon as you start taking action with your fear, something will open. Either your heart will start to open, the energy around you will start to open, more possibilities will be made known to you in some way. I'm hearing walk towards the potential. You do not need to know exactly what you want to do or what you're called to do. You do not need to know. This Knight of Wands is facing the Seven of Cups. He's taking inspired action towards possibility. The possibility in this Ace of Pentacles. So you don't need to know everything in advance, basically. Just start taking action today. Okay. All right, let's get a journal prompt for you from my journal prompt deck. Journal prompt for Gemini. Number 31. In what ways are you already who you want to be? Yeah. It's almost like that version of you who is an authority figure, who is confident, who is self-assured, who owns their leadership abilities, who follows their calling, is vulnerable enough to share their heart. That version of you exists already right now, today. Maybe that's what that little inner spark is. You already are who you want to be. The challenge, of course, is giving yourself permission to be who you are. Think about that question for yourself, okay? Let's get a closing message from Anatomy of a Witch Oracle. Closing message for Gemini. I've been hearing this a lot lately in a lot of readings that I'm giving. I just keep hearing 10 times 10 divided by 10 equals 10. I have no idea. But 10, of course, in tarot is about the end of a cycle. So, you know, there is this underlying focus here on releasing, ending, concluding a cycle, being willing to follow that Page of Wands energy, being the student, doing something new, doing something new to catalyze you out of stuck, stagnant energy. And maybe that ties all the way back to why I used Alice the Wonderland Oracle to start when I've never done that before. Never. Closing message for Gemini. Wow, really? This is fascinating. Okay, so you've got Adorn. This was the opening message, or like the theme for Virgo's reading, and it was the closing message for Capricorn's reading yesterday. So this is the third time in a row that this has come up in a reading. I clear the heck out of my decks. This is not a coincidence. So it's a faceless woman holding two masks. I feel like this is kind of tied to the Virgo reading a little bit. Like you're ready to not wear any masks anymore and reveal that vulnerable truth in your heart. Let's see what the guidebook says. I'm pretty sure I remember because I just read it yesterday, but let's see. Okay, there are many ways we adorn our bodies with the clothes we wear, the jewelry we layer on, and the way we style or color our hair, as well as how we apply makeup and pierce or tattoo our skin. Each is a way to craft identity, to show the outside world how we see ourselves. We also use these items to protect ourselves, to disguise or pretend, to explore aspects of ourselves. Inversely, how we adorn our bodies can have an influence on how we feel. Adornment is a way to transform into our true self, as well as a means to explore other aspects of our personality. This is fun. Okay, so I love this idea that clothing, makeup, jewelry, etc., they can be used to hide your truth or express it. And I feel like it's time, let's say, playing with how you adorn your body is like a very playful gateway into embodying your inner leader. So this would be a super fun intuitive exercise. Imagine the version of you, intuitively connect with the version of you who is already a leader, already sharing their gifts, following their calling, whatever it is for you, right? That dream life. How does that version of you dress? How do they do their hair? How do they present themselves? How do they hold themselves or carry themselves? Can you maybe try to entrain with that a little bit today? Maybe wear a color they would wear or whatever. Play with it. That's fun. Okay. All right, Gemini, thank you for letting me read for you. I hope this was helpful or at least thought-provoking. As always, I will be putting this journal prompt in the description box along with several others, so be sure to check those out. They'll just help you to process everything and take your inner work a little bit deeper. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.